Hey everybody. So we're going to look at plotting uh, profitability and area information. Those are both data points that you can pull out of um, two different databases. So one you can pull from Revit. You can get the total areas of all the spaces and kind of sum that up. And then you can also pull out the profitability out of Vision. So you can reach in that database, pull out the profitability for that project, and then kind of compare the two. So what we're going to do is plot this information. We'll just simply plot it. It's really easy to do. And then in a later video, what we'll do is we'll look at linear regression and kind of how we can learn from that data. So because what we'll try to do is get an understanding, and we may actually work with some real data. For this example, we'll just kind of generate some data. But what we want to do is find a direct correlation between the information before we go and try to use it for linear regression. So what we'll do is by plotting it, we'll try to get an idea if it does have that direct correlation between one another. So, the more area that you have per project, the more profit that you have. That's, again, this is just working with manually created data, but if I can get the data out and actually use that, it would be something I can't share. But from there, we can actually get an idea if that information is correlated by just plotting it out real quick and kind of seeing the data. So what we're going to do to start off is import our libraries. As you see here, I've already got some libraries that we're importing. We're actually going to ignore these. I start out with a template that you guys can use anytime. It'll be in the description below. There'll be a OneDrive link that you can go out and actually find a folder called this videos. It should have the name of this video or some type of description that's the same as the video name. And then you can use this template. Just has a bunch of generic information. And I typically import these three libraries: NumPy, Pandas, and DovPanda. DovPanda helps with Pandas actually. So when you're leveraging the Pandas library and you're not using it correctly or something, DovPanda can help you in fixing that. So, but the libraries we are going to use is matplotlib and pyplot, which is on top of the matplotlib library. So we'll do from matplotlib import pyplot as PLT. And we're doing as PLT so we don't have to type it out every single time. We can just simply type out PLT when we're calling that library and its function. So now all we have to do is do a shift enter. So now we have that library. Now let's generate the data. So like I said, this is going to be manual. So what we'll do is we'll start off with area equals, we'll do brackets, and then we'll just type out some data points. We'll do 200,000. So that's for that 200,000 square feet, and then we'll do 18,000, 16, 15.5, 15, 125, 11, and then finally we'll do 100,000. All right, so now we have the for that data for the area. So what we can do is just simply press enter, and then we can actually type that out and kind of see what's going on there. So we can see our list. We have 200,000, 180,000, 160,000, and so on. So now let's do the profit. So we'll just do profit equals, we'll do brackets, and then we'll do 150,000, 125, 120, 115, 100,000, 90, 85, and then finally 80. Um, these may not correlate, with your project types, especially if you're like working on it's like campus planning type projects, or like city planning projects where you're looking at a whole bunch of buildings at once. Those projects may not profit as much as maybe an architectural project where you're building a brand new building, and you get the area. But in those cases, you could see the profits in the other way or something. So when we get to the point where we're actually using real data, I think that's when we'll find a lot of value trying to do this before we get into any linear regression stuff, so that we can get an idea of the correlation between area and profits. So we can press enter, we can type out profit, and then we can see what's going on there. So we can see that's a list, and that everything looks correct. So now all we have to do is simply plot that information out. So we'll do plt dot plot, and then we'll type in area, profit, color, we'll do equals, let's do something like blue. So in Python, and sometimes it depends, but I like to use quotation marks because that's consistent with Dynamo, and just so that it's easy to transition between the two, I just use quotation marks. But sometimes I don't, depending on what I'm doing, because it's kind of annoying having to type that out every time. But so if you in Python, it doesn't really matter. So I can actually take this out and use these instead, and it works the same. But again, the quotation marks in Python, I use them here because in Dynamo you have to. But again, sometimes it depends. So it's whatever works for you, but just a heads up for when you're doing that. So now we have the color, and now what we'll do is, comma, we'll do the marker equals O. Then we'll do line style. Line style equals solid. Now we'll come over here. We won't do shift enter. We'll do is press enter, and now we'll do plt dot title, and then we'll type in profitability. Press enter again, and then we will go ahead and plot this information. So we can press enter. Oops. So let's go back up here and change this, or let's add R to that, and then we'll press shift enter, and now we see the information. And let's do one more thing. We'll come over here and update that. Press shift enter, and there you go. So now we have our plot. We can see profitability. We can see what's going on down here, which is the profits, and then this information, so we can see when the area increases, the profits increase. Now, it may be really useful to have information on the sides here. So to say, hey, this is, for sure the profits, and then down here is for sure the area. because unless we're looking back at our data, can't really tell which is what. So it's really easy to do. All you have to do is do plt dot y label, and then within that you can type what you need. So this is profit for y label, and then the x label is going to be area or square footage. And now what we can do is do shift enter, and we can see profit and area over there. So this is how we would do this in matplotlib. So now let's take a look at plotly. So what we'll do is import plotly.express as px. Shift enter. We now have that library in there. So now we'll do fig equals px line. The x axis is going to be profits for this example, and the y is going to be area, and then the title. Oops. It's going to equal profitability. Let's see what we did wrong. So there needs to be a dot after px, so we'll do px, run that. We'll make sure to see profits. Let's take this s off of profits, and now we should be good to go. So now we can do fig dot show, and then there you go. We have our information. So when the project profits go up, so does the area over here. And now if we want to match what we have on this plot, we simply will switch out this information. So we can go in here, go area, change this area for the y label to profit, and shift enter there, and now we have where the area goes up, we can see that, hey, look, the profits go up as well. What's cool with Plotly right off the bat is that it's interactive, so you can come in here, zoom in on information, get a better idea of the growth and the profits and stuff. I really love Plotly for that. It makes it really fun to mess with data. So definitely check it out and read a little bit more about it on their site. It's definitely a really cool tool to use. If we come up here, we can reset the axis, which will reset this plot. There's a lot of other things in here that you can use as well. And a lot of their other plots are interactive. So like if you're messing with 3D information, it's really cool because you can kind of pan around, orbit around the data. It's really, really cool to check out. So, so that's it for plotting this information. In a later video, we'll take a look at linear regression, and then because from what we can tell here, this information does have a direct correlation with one another to an extent. So we can see that when the area of the building rises, so does the profitability of that building as well. So we could easily plot a line across this data, and from there use that to project future earnings for projects. Is this something that we should take on or shouldn't take on? Hopefully you liked the video. Let me know if you have any questions. Feel free to reach out. Make sure to like, share, comment if you want to see more. Subscribe, and then definitely hit the notification bell. But thanks a lot for watching. I'll see you in the next one.